If you are over the age of 50, you may have noticed some changes in your eyes. Maybe they feel drier in the morning. Maybe the letters on the newspaper are starting to blur. Or you have begun to notice dark circles that never used to be there. Some of us might even be worried about cataracts forming or a diagnosis like glaucoma down the line. The truth is, many of these changes are common, but they are not always inevitable. What if I told you there was a natural, simple remedy that could help support your eye health right at home and without side effects? It is called castor oil. And before you tune out thinking it is just an old folk remedy or something your grandmother used, let me gently ask you to stay with me for a few minutes, because castor oil is not just another oil. It has unique properties that allow it to penetrate deeper into your skin and tissues than almost any other substance. That means it does not just sit on the surface. It actually works with your body, gently reducing inflammation, soothing irritation, and supporting healing from the inside out. In this episode, we are going to explore how castor oil can help your eyes feel more comfortable, reduce dryness, ease pressure, and yes, even slow down early signs of cataracts and support vision in a natural, safe way. But we will also talk about how this same oil can support other parts of your body, your digestion, your joints, your hormones, especially after 50, when your body starts asking for a little more care. By the end of this video, you will have a simple step-by-step understanding of how to use castor oil in ways that are gentle, practical, and deeply healing. The truth about eye aging. Let's start by talking about your eyes and what really happens to them as we age. Most people assume that vision loss is just a normal part of getting older. And yes, to some extent, it is true that our eyes go through changes. But what many people do not realize is that how we live has a powerful impact on how our eyes age. There are two types of muscles in your eyes. One is for short-range vision, like when you are reading a book or looking at a phone. The other is for long-range vision, like when you are gazing at a mountain, watching birds fly, or looking across a field. Here is the problem. In today's world, we are using our short-range vision all the time. Smartphones, tablets, laptops, television. These things demand constant close focus. But our eyes were not designed for this kind of daily overload. When the short-range muscles are overused and the long-range muscles are ignored, it creates an imbalance. This imbalance causes strain, fatigue, and long-term damage. It is one of the reasons we see more cases of early cataracts, dry eyes, and declining vision, even in people as young as 30 or 40. Now, here is something else most people don't hear about. When your brain is tired, say, at the end of the day, your eye strain becomes even more damaging. That's because your brain and your eyes work together. When your brain is mentally exhausted, your eyes cannot repair themselves the way they usually would. That is why doing fine detail work at night can actually weaken your eyes. But here's the good news. When you use your eyes for fine detail work in the morning, when your brain is rested, it can actually strengthen your eyes. Yes, you heard that right. The same activity that tires your eyes in the evening can help build them up when done earlier in the day. So if you are reading, knitting, working on a crossword puzzle, or paying bills, try doing those things before lunch. Your eyes will thank you for it. And one more tip. Every hour or so, especially if you're using a screen, take a break and look out the window. Find something in the distance, a tree, a cloud, a hill, and rest your gaze there for a minute or two. This small habit gives your long-range vision the exercise it desperately needs. Now, you might be thinking, that's helpful, but what about the dryness? What about the cataracts already forming? That is where castor oil comes in. In the next section, I am going to explain exactly why castor oil is so effective and how you can use it to nourish and soothe your eyes in a way that is natural, safe, and backed by experience. Castor oil, nature's quiet healer. Let's talk about castor oil. For many people, the words castor oil bring back childhood memories, or maybe just curiosity. You might be wondering, how could something so old-fashioned help with something as delicate as the eyes? The answer lies in something very special about this oil. Castor oil has a unique structure. It is made up of something called ricinoleic acid, which allows it to penetrate deeply into tissues, deeper than most other oils. Unlike creams or drops that sit on the surface, Castor oil actually travels through the skin into the deeper layers, where inflammation and damage begin. This is why it has been used for centuries, not just as a moisturizer, but as a healing agent for joints, skin, digestion, and yes, even vision. Now let's get specific. For your eyes, castor oil works in several gentle but powerful ways. First, it hydrates the skin around your eyes. The eyelid and under eye area are very delicate. As we age, they become thinner, drier, and more prone to irritation. Applying just 1 drop of castor oil on your eyelid once or twice a day can soften that area, reduce fine lines, and ease dryness that builds up overnight. Second, it helps reduce inflammation. Many age-related eye conditions, like dry eyes, redness, puffiness, or even early-stage cataracts, are worsened by low-grade inflammation. Castor oil's anti-inflammatory properties calm this irritation and allow the eye to begin healing. Third, and most fascinating, is castor oil's effect on unnatural formations such as cataracts. Cataracts are clouded areas in the lens of the eye. They form slowly over time and can eventually lead to blurred vision or vision loss. While castor oil is not a miracle cure, many people have reported that using a small amount daily has helped slow or even reverse early-stage cataract formation. The oil does not go directly into the eye. Instead, you gently wipe a drop across the eyelid, and the oil absorbs through the skin and lashes. Some people also choose to put a drop into the eye itself, but even applying it externally has shown benefits. A woman once wrote to me saying, "I was told I had to schedule surgery for early cataracts. I wasn't ready. I began using castor oil on my eyelids every night. 6 months later, my doctor said they had not progressed, and that I could wait. That was 2 years ago. Now let's be clear. This is not about making bold promises or replacing medical care. This is about supporting your body with something that has stood the test of time. Castor oil does not force anything. It simply creates the right conditions for the body to begin healing itself, slowly, gently, and naturally. That is what makes it so powerful. It is not a quick fix. It is a daily act of care, something you do not just for your eyes, but for your peace of mind. So, how do you start? Start simple. At night, just before bed, wash your hands and take 1 drop of castor oil. Just 1. Rub it gently between your fingers. Then smooth it over your closed eyelids. That's it. No stinging, no mess, no effort. Over time, with consistency, you may begin to notice your eyes feel more comfortable in the morning, less dry, more relaxed. And the beauty of it is, while you're helping your eyes, you're also improving the skin around them. Castor oil is rich in fatty acids, which support collagen and elasticity. That means fewer wrinkles, less puffiness, and a more rested appearance. In the next section, we're going to go beyond the eyes because once people experience what castor oil can do here, they begin to wonder, what else can it help with? And the answer is quite a lot. So stay with me. The best is yet to come. Beyond the eyes, healing the whole body after 50. By now, you understand how castor oil can gently support your eye health. But what many people don't realize is that this same oil, the one you just applied to your eyelid, has a powerful role to play in healing other parts of your body, especially after the age of 50, when small discomforts can turn into chronic issues. Castor oil can become one of the most valuable tools in your wellness toolbox. Let's start with something that affects millions of older adults every day: digestion and gut health. It's no secret that as we age, our digestive system slows down. You may notice occasional constipation, bloating, or that heavy, sluggish feeling after eating. Many people turn to laxatives or fiber supplements, but these are often quick fixes that don't address the deeper issue: inflammation and sluggish bowel movement. This is where a castor oil compress can make a world of difference. A compress is simple to make. All you need is a soft cotton cloth, a little plastic to prevent leakage, and a teaspoon or 2 of castor oil. You fold the cloth several times, drizzle the oil on top, and place it over your abdomen, just below the belly button. Then cover it with plastic wrap and a towel, and relax for about 1 to 2 hours. You can even do it while watching television or reading a book. Many people use a hot water bottle on top of the compress to enhance absorption, but even body heat alone is enough. So what does this do? Castor oil penetrates deep into the tissue, helping to break up congestion, reduce inflammation, and stimulate the smooth muscles of the colon. It's like sending your intestines a gentle reminder that it's time to move again, without harsh chemicals or irritating side effects. I once met a woman who had suffered from irritable bowel syndrome for over 10 years. She had tried everything, special diets, medications, probiotics, but nothing brought consistent relief. One day, she began using a castor oil compress on her abdomen 5 nights a week. Within a month, she was having regular bowel movements. After 3 months, her abdominal pain was gone. She told me, "It was the first time I felt like my body was working with me, not against me." That's the beauty of natural remedies. They work in harmony with the body's rhythm. Hormone balance in women's health. Let's move on to another area that's often overlooked, hormone balance, especially during and after menopause. As we age, hormonal shifts can lead to a wide range of issues: fatigue, mood swings, weight gain, sleep problems, and even fibroids or cysts. Castor oil compresses, when applied to the lower abdomen, can help support the lymphatic system and promote detoxification, easing hormonal congestion in the reproductive organs. One of the most powerful stories I've heard came from a woman in her early 30s who developed a large fibroid. She had been living a very healthy lifestyle, eating well, exercising, drinking clean water, but still found herself in pain. A scan revealed a fibroid that was over 3 inches in diameter. She was terrified of surgery, so she turned to 2 things: natural hormone support through diet and herbs, and nightly castor oil compresses applied directly to her abdomen. After 4 months, she returned for another scan. The fibroid had shrunk to 1 inch. Her pain was gone, and she avoided the operating room. While not every case will see such dramatic change, it's a powerful example of how consistent natural care can give the body what it needs to heal itself, bit by bit, night after night. Joint pain and inflammation. Now let's talk about something almost everyone over 50 deals with at some point: joint pain. Whether it's a sore knee, a stiff shoulder, or arthritis in the hands, inflammation is the root of most joint discomfort. Castor oil, with its deep penetrating properties, can offer significant relief when used as a topical compress or applied directly to the skin. Let me give you a personal example. Several years ago, I fractured my wrist in a fall. Even after the bone healed, I was left with lingering pain and stiffness. I began applying a castor oil compress to the wrist every night before bed. Within a few weeks, the soreness began to fade. After 2 months, I could move my wrist freely again. No pain, no more tightness. I continue to use that same compress almost every night. Not because I'm in pain, but because it's become part of my routine. A small act of care that helps prevent flare-ups and keeps my joints feeling young. Another woman I spoke with had been struggling with arthritis in her fingers for over a decade. She started applying a small amount of castor oil every night, massaging it into her knuckles before bed. After 3 weeks, she could bend her fingers with less stiffness. After 6 weeks, she could open jars again, something she hadn't done in years. These are not miracles. They're the result of giving your body the tools and the time it needs to do what it was designed to do: repair, regenerate, and restore balance. Breast health and scar tissue. Castor oil has also shown great promise in supporting breast health, especially for women who have had surgery or cysts. When applied gently to the breast area, it can help reduce fibrous tissue, soften lumps, and even ease discomfort from scar tissue buildup. One woman I met had undergone breast cancer surgery. After her recovery, she was left with hard, painful scar tissue around the surgical site. She began using a warm castor oil compress every evening. After 2 months, the tissue had softened, and she no longer felt the tightness that used to wake her up at night. She told me, "It was like my body finally let go of the trauma." That kind of emotional release is not uncommon. Castor oil doesn't just work on the physical level. It often helps people reconnect with their bodies after illness or injury. It creates space for healing, for comfort, and for peace. How often should you use it? Consistency is more important than intensity. For most people, applying a castor oil compress 3 to 5 times a week is enough to see results. Some prefer to use it nightly, especially if they're dealing with more serious issues. Others use it a few times a month, just for maintenance and comfort. There is no wrong way to begin, only your way. Pay attention to how your body responds. If you feel relief, ease, or simply a better night's sleep, that's a sign you're on the right track. And remember, more is not always better. A small amount of castor oil goes a long way. And since you can reuse your compress for weeks at a time, it's also affordable and simple. I want you to think about this not as a treatment, but as a relationship between you and your own healing. When you take time to care for your body, especially with something as gentle and nurturing as castor oil, you're telling your body, I'm listening. I want to help you. That mindset, more than any product or practice, is the foundation of real, lasting wellness. Now that you understand the powerful healing potential of castor oil, let me walk you through exactly how to make a compress at home. This method is simple, inexpensive, and requires only a few materials, most of which you probably already have. What you will need: 1 castor oil. You can use any cold-pressed, hexane-free castor oil. Organic is great, but not required. Even non-organic castor oil works very well. 2 cotton or flannel cloth. This can be an old t-shirt, washcloth, or piece of sheeting. Avoid synthetic materials like polyester. 3 plastic wrap or a plastic bag. This goes over the cloth to prevent oil from leaking onto your clothes or furniture. 4 a towel or elastic bandage to hold everything in place. 5 optional, a heating pad or hot water bottle for added absorption, but not necessary. Step-by-step instructions. 1 prepare the cloth. Take your cotton or flannel cloth and fold it into several layers, about 4 to 8 layers thick. The thicker the compress, the more oil it can hold, and the longer it will stay effective. 2 apply the oil. Drizzle a small amount of castor oil onto the cloth. Start with 1 to 2 teaspoons. You don't need to soak the cloth completely. Castor oil is thick and spreads slowly. If you use too much, it may become messy. 3 place the compress. Lay the oil-soaked cloth directly over the area you want to treat, your abdomen, lower back, wrist, knee, or even over the liver or uterus, depending on your need. 4 cover with plastic. Place a piece of plastic wrap or bag over the compress to protect your clothing and bedding from the oil. This step is important because castor oil can stain fabric and is difficult to wash out. 5 secure the compress. Wrap a towel or use an elastic bandage to hold the compress in place. If you're applying it to a flat area like the abdomen, you can simply tuck the towel around your waist. 6 rest and relax. Leave the compress on for a minimum of 1 hour. Some people wear it for 2 to 3 hours. Others choose to sleep with it overnight, especially when treating joint pain or hormonal imbalances. If you're new to this, try starting with 1 hour and see how your body responds. 7 optional, add gentle heat. Placing a hot water bottle or heating pad on top of the compress can help increase circulation and absorption. Just make sure it's warm, not too hot. Your skin should feel comfortable, never burned. How often should you use it? For most healing goals, using the compress 3 to 5 times a week is a great place to start. If you're working on something more chronic like arthritis, fibroids, or long-term constipation, you may benefit from daily use, at least for a few weeks. Remember, consistency is more important than intensity. Healing with castor oil takes time. It's not instant, but if you commit to using it regularly, many people begin to feel better within a few weeks. How to store and reuse your compress. One of the great things about this method is that you can reuse the same cloth many times. After each use, fold the compress and store it in a Ziploc bag or sealed container. Keep it in a cool, dry place. Refrigeration is not necessary. Add a small amount of fresh oil once a week to keep it effective. You can usually reuse the same compress for about 3 to 4 weeks, depending on how often you use it. If it starts to smell, discolor, or dry out, it's time to make a new one. Safety tips and precautions. 1. Do not take castor oil by mouth unless advised by a trusted healthcare professional. Ingesting it can cause digestive upset and in some cases strong laxative effects. 2. Do not use castor oil compresses during pregnancy unless approved by your doctor. Castor oil can stimulate uterine contractions. 3. If you have open wounds or broken skin, avoid applying the compress directly over those areas. 4. Always listen to your body. If something feels uncomfortable, stop and adjust. Castor oil should never burn, sting, or feel harsh. Choosing the right castor oil. There are many brands of castor oil available. As long as you're using cold-pressed, hexane-free oil, you're on the right track. Some people prefer the dark Jamaican black castor oil for its richness, but the lighter clear version works beautifully as well. You don't need to spend a lot of money or find a rare brand. Even affordable store-bought oil can offer deep healing, especially when used with care and intention. The beauty of the castor oil compress lies in its simplicity. No pills, no prescriptions, no waiting rooms. Just you, your hands, and a willingness to care for your body in a natural way. For many people over 50, this nightly ritual becomes more than a treatment. It becomes a moment of calm, a few quiet minutes of stillness, where healing is allowed to happen in its own time. Final thoughts. You've come a long way with me today. We've talked about tired eyes, aging joints, stubborn digestion, and those quiet little discomforts that sneak in as we get older. But more importantly, we've talked about hope. Castor oil is not a magic cure. It's not a miracle drug. What it is a reminder. A reminder that healing doesn't always have to be loud. It doesn't always have to come from a bottle with a warning label, or from a rushed doctor's visit. Sometimes healing shows up in small, quiet ways. In a drop of oil, a warm cloth, and the steady rhythm of showing up for yourself day after day. I've met people in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s who thought their discomfort was just something they had to live with. But once they gave their body even a little help, even just a drop of oil and a few moments of care, they began to feel something they hadn't felt in a long time. Relief, ease, peace, and most importantly, trust in their own body again. You might not see a dramatic change overnight, but give it a little time. Just like nature, your body heals in seasons. Castor oil won't rush that process. It will support it, gently, consistently, quietly. If there's one message I want to leave you with, it's this: you are not broken. You're not too old to heal. Your body is still listening. And when you speak to it with kindness, it responds. So whether you begin tonight with one drop on your eyelid, or tomorrow with a compress on your wrist, I hope this becomes more than a new routine. I hope it becomes a moment in your day where you slow down, breathe deeply, and tell yourself, I'm worth this. Because you are. If this video touched you, helped you, or simply made you think a little differently about your health, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me, where will you apply your first drop of castor oil? Was it your eyes, your belly, your knee? Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of yourself and remember, healing is still possible.